So my other question is, do you benefit from white supremacy in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going to need more specifics on what you mean by white
Here,
supremacy.
let me give it to you then.
Sure, please.
So I'm a transgender man.
Okay.
I've experienced SA.
Okay.
And abortion rights affect me directly. So if we're talking about the American dream that you live, so why don't I have access to that? Because there's no legislation, in the history of America, that legislates a man's body. So why does mine have to be legislated? I've got a vagina.
I'm not interested in what your genitalia are.
Clearly you are. I mean, it's all over everything you make, buddy. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to you, but
I think you can read on my face that I radically am not.
Watch this heated debate of Ben Shapiro and a wild liberal leftist go off. This is a crazy exchange. And then we'll get into the breakdown. Sheesh.
Oh. Wow, okay, we're going to take this chair. Look at that.
Hey, Ben.
Like a bro, my friend. All right.
How's it going?
Let's break open
So, first question, can men get pregnant?
Men cannot get pregnant.
Okay, awesome. So,
Definitionally.
Definitionally, okay. Do men...
When people start asking you things like this, you know it's getting ready to get crazy.
experience SA? Sexual assault?
Sure.
Got it. What about the existence of trans men?
What about the existence? Do you mean women who believe that they are men? What are we talking about here? Women experiencing gender dysphoria?
So my other question is, do you benefit from white supremacy in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going to need more specifics on what you mean by white supremacy.
Here, let me give it to you then.
Sure, please.
So I'm a transgender man.
Okay.
I've experienced SA.
Okay.
And abortion rights affect me directly. So if we're talking about the American dream that you live,
so
why don't I have access to that? Because there's no legislation, in the history of America, that legislates a man's body. So why does mine have to be legislated? I've got a vagina.
I'm not interested in what your genitalia are.
Clearly you are. I mean, it's all over everything you make, buddy. I'm sorry. I hate to say it to you, but
I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. I think you can read on my face that I radically am not. When we're talking...
Whoa. This person, someone telling you clearly care about my
about abortion.
Well, I don't. I mean, you can present it here, but in most of the content that you have, you attack my community constantly. And you don't even realize guys like me exist who actually share a lot of similarities to you and everything, because I'm a married man of 20 years.
I'm
got a wife.
Recognize that you exist. I disagree
right.
with
So if I was sexually assaulted, right, and I didn't have access to that abortion care, do you believe that I should have carried that child to term because I was sexually assaulted?
I mean,
No, I just want to make sure that that's what you believe. Because as a transgender man, I have seen your side of the entire political debate, never ever having the conversation of what an American freedom is. Because why am I not allowed to live my American freedom as a man? You know, I mean, you get your choice as a man to live. You're
really moving around terminology very wildly here,
and so are you, because that's the tactics you play in your game, and you've done it the entire time. You jump from one side.
You see, and this happened a lot on this particular video where you see with a lot of leftists and you see the girl in the background, the young black girl with the dreads. Liberals enjoy confrontation, okay, and they might not necessarily enjoy it from a pleasure standpoint, but they see disagreements as acts of confrontation. And it is specifically in my book, Leftism, the liberal leftism, the mental illnesses of the left, the political left. You get to see this widely. But because left-leaning people are tribal, certain disagreements that you have with them, they feel as if those are transgressions against them specifically, and they internalize it. So because of that, they're more likely to act outward in ways that are aggressive, violent, and beyond the means even of the law. They don't see a conversation as a conversation. They don't see a disagreement as a disagreement. They internalize this as if, because you disagree with me, this is a direct act against me. It's not a direct act against the idea.
subject to the next. You speak so fast, and I know how you work, so how does it feel to have it in your face?
Oh, I mean,
Because I'm sick and tired of the shit that you have put against my community, especially black trans women. Because
Again, you see the young lady in the back. This is how the left wins. This is how they think that they win. Let's go off. Let's get crazy. Let's get in people's faces. Let's get violent with them. And this is how they express themselves. Again, I've gone over this in my book.
you constantly disregard all of our needs and then use us politically as a pawn when we're 1% of the population. Why not focus on the economy itself? All of us are struggling, and you want to focus on trans people. You want to focus on a black woman when this is clearly a glass cliff situation. America's falling apart, and let's give it a woman right when it's all falling apart when we had, 50 men run it and it looks like shit? Look at where we're at. Truly, where do you think that we're heading? I mean, it's so funny to watch white supremacy just fall apart the way that it is, and you ride so hard because guess what? In other countries around the world, women are not having children. And why is it? Because of the patriarchy and all the violence that men perpetuate, and all of this idea that abortion is somehow gonna solve it all by forcing women to have abortion instead of focusing on the real problems that we're facing in our society. We're just gonna completely ignore that, and we're just gonna go, you know what? The line item is, let's make women have babies so that we can continue this capitalistic society that we have. Why are we doing that? What? I mean, why? Because you want to push white supremacy and because you want to make your check? It does great for you. Meanwhile, people like me have to live with the consequences of all of your rhetoric that you put on.
Not only is this hard to watch because this person is going off mentally, but please just wipe your mouth. All of this.
On a daily basis. And including my entire community and the intersectionalities of black women, men that experience SA, trans people, everyone that comes in. And I'm so sick of the idea that you can come in with this bravado, that you're this big guy that knows things because you can talk fast, you have statistics. But really, what does it really matter at the end of the day if you are harming the entire American? This guy's been accused of rape. Trump, in court documents, and you're backing the guy. You have children. How could you do that to your own? Don't you have a daughter? What is wrong with you, dude? I've never seen such a party just completely the American idea, what we believe in as a country, is not what you're perpetuating. It's diversity. It's giving you tired, hungry, and poor. The Google phone you have in your pocket is because of all of the diversity we've had.
Pause.
Pleasure to meet you.
Okay. There's a lot of tension in the room. Let's stay cordial. Let's stay respectful, please. Please.
So, listen, I know that was tough to watch, but there's a part about it that's entertaining. But entertaining more like how a horror movie is entertaining, where you're watching something uncomfortable, but it's also satisfying. But nevertheless, what we saw here, even though it was a political topic, it had nothing to do with politics, in the sense that this person just took a moment not to have a discussion. That wasn't a discussion at all. This person took a second to just trauma dump all of their issues, all of their problems, and all of their mental well-being onto Ben Shapiro in this moment. Just pick their trauma up and just dump it right on his lap. And unfortunately, this is actually what the left does. I have gone over this extensively in my book, Leftism, the Mental Illnesses of the Political Left, that people on the left suffer from mental illness at rates that are 2 to 3 times higher than that of people on the right. And a lot of their ideas and their thoughts are culminated around mental health, for example. There's an aspect called cognitive distortions, which show that people who are mentally ill or have mental problems, actually their thoughts and their patterns and their cognitive frameworks on how they think is actually affected by their mental health. And people who have mental health issues actually think in a completely different way than people who actually have a healthy mind. So what you see there is that in its full capacity. And then you see the aspect of the leftists, the people who are left-leaning, the liberals around him, all being enjoyed and excited and thrilled about this because they see a conversation, not a conversation, they see a disagreement as a physical altercation internally. They see a disagreement as a fight internally. They see a disagreement as not you're challenging my thought, but you're challenging me as a person. They internalize it. And that's because in life, they internalize everything. And because they internalize everything is the reason why their mental health demographic is different from that than people of the right. All this was nothing but demagoguery. This person was just using their emotion to try to make a point rather than being rational. So without saying too much more, just wanted to share that video with you. I had to share that video with you. That video was insane. And remember, when you're dealing with left-leaning people and they act in this way, you're not dealing with a rational person who actually wants to have a political discussion. You're dealing with deep-rooted emotional personality and underlining perspectives, personalities, and even health, internal health that they have that shows itself through political conversations. Again, this is laid out all in my book. But nevertheless, I'm Mr. Rembrandt, and this is Mr. Rembrandt. See you on the next video.